Whenever I hear the sentence, don't judge a book by its cover, a question that's very common rises in my head too. What about the designer of the book cover? That's his job to literally design the cover of the book. So why do people say don't judge a book by its cover? Well, it's not about books, right? It's about people. People say don't judge a person by their looks. It's very true. You should not judge a person by their looks. There's no fault in that. But the fault comes from the understanding or the wrong understanding of this sentence. Don't judge a book by its cover. When you hear the words, don't judge a book by its cover, it simply means do not perceive or do not fix the ability of someone based on their looks. Well, that's what the sentence says, but in reality, in real life, that's not what actually happens. People judge you based on how you look because your looks are directly connected to your lifestyle and your lifestyle is connected to your habits. People say, don't judge that person because he's fat. Don't judge that person because he's skinny. Don't judge that person because of other beauty circumstances. Well, I'm not talking about the color of your skin. That's the racism concept. That's not what we are talking about. We are talking about the cover of the book. This, if you want to look at it more from the real raw perspective of life, you would definitely know that the person who is skinnier has different abilities capable to his body compared to the person who's fat. Well, you might come up with one simple person who's fat that achieved a running record of 3 minutes, 100 meter in maybe 30 seconds or something. But in comparison to the whole population, the people who are fat suffer with health. The people who are fat suffer with their daily task. Well, I simply ask this one question. To the people who are fat, to the people who are skinny, no offense, alright? But I just ask you, don't you want to be healthier? Do you want to have a healthy life? The modern world has demoralized people. It tells people don't judge yourselves, don't judge people by their looks. I'll tell you a small story of mine, right? I had this specific way of dressing. It's vintage style. It's old classical style, okay? I had this specific style of dressing when I was, I think, 13 or something. And then I got convinced by this false propaganda that don't judge a book by its cover, your looks don't matter at all. No, that is a lie. But I was convinced, at that time I was convinced it was true. So after that, my fashion kind of went off and I just started wearing whatever I could find. I didn't care about how the cloth looked on me. I didn't care about how I looked. I didn't care how my hair was. I didn't care how the look on my face was. I didn't care about none of that. But if I were to be really honest with you, during those days where I had no sense of fashion, no sense of style or the way of how I was going to present myself, I really felt disgusted. Like, imagine yourself. You have a function for yourself coming up. Would you show up in shorts and tank tops? No. You definitely wear your best outfit. Why? To the people who say looks don't matter at all, you would definitely wear your best outfits. Right? So looks do matter in this world. You can't lie to yourself that looks don't matter. But in today's world, looks do definitely matter. So you definitely as a young guy, looks matter, bro. So what I want you to do, if you're young, if you're old, no matter whatever you may be, people perceive you as a better person. This is just how the world works. People perceive you as a better person if you look better. So there's rules to this game of life. And, just as any other game you play, you can bend and break the rules. You can use the rules to your own advantage, right? Similarly, you can use this rule to your own advantage. In the game of life, people perceive you as a better person if you look more attractive, if you look better. So why don't you get better? Why don't you look more attractive for people to treat you and perceive you as a better person? So you definitely as a young guy must not be convinced by the fact that looks don't matter at all. Because I'll give you a very clear example, alright? If you had to go to a person, and if you had to offer to them 2 shirts, alright, 2 shirts, the same brand, same color, but if one is completely wrinkled and the other one is completely new, it has no damage at all, it's perfectly fine, it's iron, it's in the best state it could be in. which one would that person pick? Definitely the shirt. You could say, well, the looks of the shirt doesn't matter at all. The material is the same. But why would the person pick the shirt that has no wrinkles, the shirt that is ironed? Why would the person pick the best shirt on the market? Well, it's more useful than the shirt that is wrinkled and the shirt that is damaged, even though it's of the same materials. Well, what I'm trying to tell you is, us as humans have the same capabilities, but our capabilities are completely limited to the level of our minds, the limits of our own minds. So, if you definitely want people to pursue or perceive you as a better person, go and improve your looks. Lose some fat if you are too fat. Gain some muscle if you are skinny. Alright? Get a good, respectable style of fashion. Alright? Not the cringe ass TikTok boy styles. Alright? Not that kind of thing. Get a good haircut. Right? Eat good food. Don't overconsume sugar and all that modern world nonsense. Alright? So what you definitely consume is more of how your body is presentable to. So that's like, your looks is an indicator to people. The way you look, the way you present yourself, the cover of your own book is just an indicator to people to tell what's inside. That is the truth of life. So the person who is fit, who's got great skin, who's got great hair, alright, he's a great orator, he's got a great voice too, okay, he can maintain good eye contact, and he's knowledgeable, is definitely going to beat the person who is somewhat okay in kind of looks, also a great orator, also has the same amount of knowledge. Simply. Not because the person who is fit, not because the person who is fit, strong and healthy has all the kind of looking attractive stuff, but that person has discipline to keep himself that way. Because the people who look attractive, the people who have a fit body, genuinely need discipline to maintain that. So when you have a fit body and healthy body to yourself, you're literally signaling to the other person that I have discipline over myself, because everyone knows that for you to have a fit body and healthy body, you need discipline. You have to say no to all those junk foods, and you have to say yes to all those foods which are not tasty but healthy for yourself. That's just discipline. So when people tell you looks don't matter at all, tell to themselves, ask them the question, the short question that I recently asked you, right? Ask them, which one would you pick? Well, they could come up with any reason that they might give you, but if it was a real life circumstance, they would pick the best shirt on the market. So, I ask you, don't you want to be disciplined? Don't you want to have a better experience of life? If you want to have a better experience of life, if you want to have life that is much more healthier, you have to have discipline to do it so. You have to discipline yourself by exercising every day, training every day, going on a walk. You can do simple things. Not everyone needs to have muscles. Like muscles are just the interest of a certain person. Alright? A fit body doesn't always need muscles. I'm telling you that. A healthy body doesn't always need muscles. Don't convince yourself that muscles are healthy. Muscles, in and of itself, are not healthy. Just because you have muscles and you eat like shit doesn't mean you're healthy. Right? There's many bodybuilders out there that's like cheat bulking, dirty bulking. They eat everything. They gain weight, put on some muscle, that's it. All their organs, they just lose their values. That's what happens. So, if you have a healthy body, if you have a fit body, if you have great looks and fashion, trust me, you will have a better experience in life. So, don't let yourself be convinced by the nonsense that your looks don't matter. What I'm trying to tell you is, your looks don't matter. That's a complete lie. Your looks do matter. And people perceive you based on how you look. That's just the truth of life. Don't judge a person by their looks. Well, as humans, everyone judges people. So it's about not insulting the person based on looks. That's what matters. I don't go to a fat friend of mine and tell that you're a fat piece of shit. I don't tell those things. I simply go to my friend and tell him, look this brother, you're fat and you're going to have these problems if you continue to be fat. You have to lose some weight for you to experience this kind of life. Trust me, I have a fat friend. Now he's lost over like 8 kilograms in 3 months, I guess. I think it's been 3 months. He's lost 8 kgs in 3 months. So, you can't help people to improve their looks. So if the cover of the book is not perfect, you shouldn't insult it. That's the whole concept. Don't insult the book cover. Instead, help the book or help the person to improve their own body, to improve their own health, to improve their own lifestyles. So, remember this. Never judge a person by their looks and don't insult them for it. Instead, go out there and help them to improve their looks, because you now know that looks matter in the real world. So don't insult the person for having bad looks. Instead, help them to improve their looks. That's what the best version of yourself does.